Thanks, everyone. If I could ask you all please to take your seats. Can I ask you all also please remember to switch your electronic devices to silent. Welcome, everybody. I'd also like to welcome the viewers at home watching the meeting via the live stream. If I could ask you all please to be upstanding. Deputy Mayor Perkoff, if you could read the opening prayer out.
Thank you, Mayor. Almighty God, we ask you to guide us in all our discussions, to show goodness, honesty, understanding and wisdom in all that we undertake to do. May we respect each other's views at all times, and we ask all of this in your name. Amen.
And Councillor Crowder, could you read the acknowledgement of country, please?
On behalf of elected members, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, on which this meeting is taking place, and show our respects for elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you. You can take your seats. Without prior approval, any recording of the meeting is prohibited. No action should be taken on any resolution of council prior to written advice from the city being received. That brings us to the official opening. Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare the council meeting of the 10th of February 2026 open at 6:29 p.m. I was just waiting for it to click over. Just didn't time it quite right. We're almost there. I advise the meeting that a complaint was made to the Local Government Standards Panel in which it was alleged that I contravened Regulation 18 of the Local Government Model Code of Conduct, Regulations 2021 and Regulation 34D of the Local Government Administration Regulations 1996 when I responded to a member of the public inappropriately during public council meeting. The panel found that I breached Regulation 18 and Regulation 34D and that my conduct did not meet the level required of a presiding member of the council. I acknowledge that I should not have engaged in such conduct, and I now apologise to Mr Simon Wheeler, as well as the public and my fellow councillors. I will now move on to item 2, further apologies, and I'll ask Mr Silence if you have any apologies.
Through you, Mr Mayor, the only apology I have is from Councillor Mcdale.
Thank you. Noted. Item 3, approved leave of absence. I have nil. Item 4, disclose of interest. From the Planning and Development Committee on the 3rd of February, there were 2 disclosures of interest, and these are displayed on the screen behind me. For the council meeting this evening, I will start. I do have a disclosure, and that's just on item 14.1 on the footpaths. It's just an impartial as I've sat down and been invited to sit with the residents and talk to them about the footpaths. Mr Silence, do you have any other disclosures for this evening?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, I do. I have one impartiality interest from Councillor Joe Ferranti for CF1, as he is a member of the Mount Lawley Society.
Councillors, any other declarations? No indications at this stage. We'll go to item 5, petitions. Councillor Ree, I believe you have 2 petitions to table. Do you want to start with whichever one you like?
Thank you. The footpath Godden Court Churchlands. The following petition contains 22 verified signatures which have been received by the city, which virtually means that everybody in Godden Court and Churchlands signed it. We understand, do respectfully request that the council object to the installation of a footpath on the cul-de-sac in Godden Court Churchlands for the following reasons. It does not meet the City of Stirling Planning Policy 6.4, Section 2.1, as the proposed path fails the location criteria minimising impacts on residential streetscape. 2, safety. The City of Stirling footpath policy applies only to streets that do not provide a safe environment for pedestrians walking in the carriageway. 3, parking, traffic congestions and safety hazards. 4, it is not justified. The city policy states footpaths in short cul-de-sacs, less than 200 metres, are not required unless justified. 5, poor use of ratepayers' funds. Money would be better spent on street trees and improving our green spaces. 6, pets. The local dog walkers prefer the existing grass verges and would avoid the street. 7, the harm to the community. Replacing cool, shady lawns, trees, wide footpaths undermines the community and increases the heat island effect. The lack of consultation. Residents were not adequately informed or given the chance to provide feedback because the letter did not mention Godden Court.
Thanks,
Like to
councillor. And
submit that?
yeah, and do you have the Dun Russell one as well?
Yes, please. The petition, footpath, Dun Russell Place, Wembley Downs. We, the undersigned, do respectively request that the council, we object to the establishment of a footpath on either side of the cul-de-sac on Dun Russell Place, Wembley Downs for the following reasons. 1. The location development does not meet the City of Stirling's planning policy 6.4 on the location criteria. 2. It would increase the traffic generation and congestion. 3. The cul-de-sac, the city policy allows that there is no need for footpaths in cul-de-sac unless it's required. 4. The footpath construction will impact on the ability of people to access their houses. 5. The safety of residents will be compromised by this footpath and the cars on the street and scooters and bikes. 6. The economics. As long-term ratepayers, we feel our money would be better spent on more street trees than ugly concrete, and would contribute more to local heat and climate change. And number 7, which is one of the most important, is the Christmas activities. The footpath would impact upon the artistic creativity and access and the ambience of the displays of one of the best streets on South Scarborough Beach Road for Christmas lights. I so do submit.
Thank you. And would you like to move that those petitions be accepted? Thank you. Is there a seconder for those petitions? Councillor Kristovich, is there a show of hands to
Mr.
accept?
Mayor, just a point of clarification. Just if we can scroll up a bit, am I reading that correctly? 1,678 verified signatures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's more than everyone in the street.
It's,
That's people that watch
it's
Christmas
impressive.
lights.
It's an impressive petition. We have a mover and a seconder for that. So I'll just, sorry, I didn't ask. Was there any other unverified petitions? No. Okay. So we're happy. We've got a mover and a seconder. If I can have a show of hands to accept those petitions, please. That's unanimous. Thanks, councillors. Item 6, responses to previous questions. We have nil. This brings us to item 7, public question times. Questions that have been submitted in writing before the meeting will be heard first, and I'll move on to those. So I'll ask Mr. Vjoy Jar if you'd like to come forward. Not present. That's all right. We have received the response. The response will be put in the minutes. Is Kim McDonald here? Thanks, Ms McDonald. Seeing as you first up, I'll just get you to turn the microphone on. Just down the bottom right corner, there's a silver button. And the red light will come on. That's it. You can just leave that now, and that can stay on, everyone, so no one needs to touch that anymore. And I'll just ask you to say your name and the suburb you live in only, and then your question, please.
Okay. Kim McDonald. I live in Gwelup. My main question is regarding dog barking in the council and the council. Sorry, I'm just reading from my phone. We have a 7-year-old in our house who has slept on a thin mattress in our front living room due to a dog barking next door to us that barks until 8:30 at night often. He goes to bed at 7 o'clock. The rangers have deemed the numbers of barks, which are a recommendation at 240 barks a day, not to be enough to do anything about the dog barking. Despite reaching the levels a number of times of being over 240 barks a day. This has also been complained about by other neighbours in our street. We are just wondering how we are to proceed so that my son can actually sleep in his actual bed at night, and he slept in a mattress for 5 years, and he's 7. He needs to sleep in a real bed, and dog barking till 8:30 at night is not helpful for that. Right on our fence line, tiny backyard, and the dog has had many complaints before.
Thanks for your question. I'll ask Mr. Mullins to give us a response, please.
Through you, Mayor Irwin, and thank you for the question, Ms McDonald. This matter is currently an open investigation, and the city's rangers investigate dog nuisance or noise in accordance with the State Government Dog Act, regulations and best practice guideline, which is published by the Department of Local Government, Industry Regulation and Safety. I will have the service lead of Community Safety Operations contact you tomorrow to give you an update, though, because as it is an active investigation.
Thank you. And your second question, please.
If the dog barking record doesn't reach enough barks for the ranger to be satisfied, although it has every single time we've complained and our neighbours have complained, it's been over the limit, not every single day, but at least three times in 10 days. We would like to know, well, this question has changed a little bit. It was supposed to be about environmental noise because we were told that the ranger suggested that we go through environmental noise because construction is obviously 7 to 7 and not allowed and before 7 or after 7 on a weekday and even later on the weekend. However, dog barking is allowed. So I guess we would like to know how that is not environmental noise, to how many times does a dog need to bark over a limit in 10 days, because the ranger has never given us an answer on that.
Thanks. Mr Mullins, I'll ask you to respond to.
Through you, Mayor Owen, dog nuisance noise offences are specified under Section 38 of the State Government Dog Act. So we are required to investigate under that legislation when it comes to dog noise. Other noise, such as construction noise, does fall under different legislation, so there's different parameters for those types of complaints.
Thank you.
I think the second question was probably answering that. The last thing I had to say, which was part of the third question, was that your website states that unreasonable barking occurs as a dog barking persistently or creates noise to a degree that is unreasonably and interferes with the peace, comfort or convenience of any person in any place. This is happening at my neighbours and no action has been taken, and it has been many, many years of this now, and a child is not being prioritised over a dog barking after 7 o'clock at night.
Thanks for your question. And look, I acknowledge your frustration in this, and I also acknowledge it is subjective. There is there's no necessarily a set standard, even though there's heavy regulations with dogs. But what we will commit to is Mr Mullins will organise a service lead to come and see you and sit down and explain where it's at and what can be done.
We've had it several times, thank you, to no avail of anything ever having changed.
I'll ask Jack Whiting if you'd like to come forward. We have received that one in writing too, and that can form part of the minutes. And Alan Mouse, would you like to come forward? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Good evening.
Name and suburb to start and your questions.
Yeah, Alan Morse
Morse.
from Karrinyup.
Pretty sure I did that last time too.
So my question relates to the proposed BP Karrinyup East petrol station. At a DAP meeting on the 26th of October 2021, the panel voted 4-1 in favour of a BP service station to be relocated to the very busy corner of Karrinyup Road and Francis Avenue, a major intersection that's controlled by traffic lights. At the time, myself and Lynn Nowak and some others made suggestions and comments, a number of submissions relating to things like traffic flow, traffic direction, the unsuitable location, delivery times for tankers, location next to a childcare centre, various things like that. But we're not entirely negative, but we did make a number of suggestions. Since then, the traffic in that area, and my street in particular, Francis Avenue, has increased even more dramatically. The shopping centre has grown. It's a great shopping centre, but it's massive. So the traffic volume and flow on the 3 streets in particular around the shopping centre has become dramatically more, is often chaotic. The parking is pretty bad sometimes, and quite often it's aggressive now. People are getting held up and just getting angry.
Thanks. Mr Morse, can I get you to just get to the question, please?
Yeah. So the DAP gave permission subject to some 12 conditions, and the deadline given was substantial completion, not progress, substantial completion had to be made by the 26th of November 2025, a date that is now past. No progress at all has been made on that site, so I hope that the approval has now lapsed. Can you please advise?
Thank you. Ms Shears?
Through you, Mr Mayor. Thank you for the question, Mr Morse. That's correct. That application has technically lapsed. However, under our legislation, there is the ability to still lodge an application to sort of revive that application. We haven't received any such application at this point in time, and if we were to receive that, we would advertise it again.
Okay, so the process would start over again?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your question. Bob Mitchell. Mr Mitchell? Thank you, Mr Mitchell. Your name and suburb?
Robert Mitchell, Karrinyup. Good evening, Mayor, councillors, council officers, fellow ratepayers, public and everyone else. I have 3 questions. My first one relates to the Karrinyup Primary School. And I just want to let you know that there is talk of alterations and additions of major proportions there. And that will probably include the oval. It needs to be brought up to a good sporting standard of surface perimeter infrastructure that is more than a current paddock. It's not fair for the school children cannot have a good surface to carry out their sport on. There was an application for development approval from Row Group to use this oval of weekends throughout the year for workers employed on construction of units at West Apartments throughout the years until completion to park their vehicles there. The application was withdrawn due to not starting the building. Now, this year approval was granted for 5 years for parking on the oval for the Karrinyup Shopping Centre employees prior to Christmas and New Year. Now, side streets parking has now been allowed for up to 2 hours in Karrinyup side streets. Traffic is getting congested throughout the suburb. As congestion around Karrinyup suburb is getting very congested, would you please ensure any further development or movement to aid the Karrinyup Shopping Centre be carefully considered? Clearly, they should look after their own interests now, and I say that because they're going to come back with an application to park the construction workers' vehicles on that oval at the school every weekend while those buildings are constructed, and that is not good enough. And I want that to be made clear to the council.
Sure, and thanks for
Thank
that question. We don't disagree with you, Mr Mitchell. I'll get Ms Shears to provide a brief comment, and then we can provide you some in writing.
Through you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Mr Mitchell, for your question. Yes, you're correct. Traffic is a challenge for the city and also the local residents around Karrinyup Shopping Centre. We do have some things in place to try and deal with the current situation. However, we are limited in what we can do. With regards to the west construction, nothing has commenced at this point in time, and we're not sure when that will be happening. But certainly managing construction traffic is part of our considerations. Any future applications on this site or in that area will certainly need to provide updated traffic modelling and reports to the city for full assessment.
Thank you. Second question, please.
Yes. Mayor, following your answer to the question offered by Roland Hadley about the condition of the Karrinyup Community Centre, you have offered the suggestion that the community centre, the building is determined to be close to end of life. That's your statement. Is that the result of building construction inspection or your opinion?
So you've got about another 3 paragraphs here, Mr Mitchell,
Yeah.
which all relate to the same thing.
Well, I'm just saying that.
yeah, but I'm trying to help you out here. If I answer that, that's your second question. So keep going, because it's all related to the same stuff.
Could I see the building report and the statement to say the building is close to the end of its life? I do find it strange that in the case when the community centre was built at the same time as the existing core structure of the shopping centre, and now we have on the community centre where there was an area where you could have displays and things, we now have a park, which I have called, for want of a better word, Durry Park. See, this is in lieu of re-establishing the east side courtyard. Was established for this Durry Park at the request of the shopping centre management. For as you now see, employees and public seated in the park, smoking, throwing their durries there into the wood chip ground cover. No ashtrays. What was planned to be replaced was cracked pavers in an existing courtyard. Now there is nowhere anyone could put up a display or hold other outdoor functions.
Thanks,
This
Mr.
is established a green park.
Thanks, Mr. Mitchell. I'll stop you there and just to answer it because it's I think it just reinforces what you're asking. The comments around end of life aren't my personal opinion. I actually am quite fond of the Karrinyup Library building myself, and I'm quite happy with it. But it has needed significant works over the last few years, including roof replacement because it floods during winter, doors don't close, that sort of thing. But it's on advice from city officers. So I'll ask city officers to provide you information about where the future possible redevelopment of the Karrinyup Library is at and about the building report. Ms Hawkins.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
My
thanks.
third question.
I'll just get your response for this one first. Ms Hawkins is going to provide your response.
Thanks, Mr Mitchell. I'll just give you a brief update and I'll provide the detail in writing to you. But the city has appointed the APP group to do that development assessment of the site. So to look at the opportunities and the constraints, and that will include the community needs assessment, so what we need from the library building. They'll also do the urban design and the concepts and then feasibility. So we've started that project and then we'll bring all the information back to council and community. But I'll provide you a very detailed response in writing so you know what's covered under that.
And your third question, Mr Mitchell.
Yes. Yeah, this question relates to the development of property land at 6 to 12 Bazaar Terrace, Scarborough. Now, I initially inquired about these lots' development and was informed they would be completed by September 25 and forwarded to a real estate agent to represent sell. Details provided were that intention to sell them by advertising and private treaty. I questioned, I believe that they would be sold by why should they not be sold by public auction or public tender? And asked why such could not be carried out. I still do not receive an answer. I kept asking why. Eventually I received correspondence in a threatening manner that my query had been responded to. Eventually I received correspondence. Also, I was informed my question had been responded to, so I was advised that I would be managed by the City of Stirling complaints policy, whatever that is. I still desire to know why these 8 lots only can't be sold by public auction or tender, which is fairer and better risk managed by the City of Stirling. Could I please be advised why these lots cannot be sold by public auction or public tender?
And thank you for that question. Look, I have seen some of the responses. I don't believe they were threatening. I believe it's because these questions have been responded to several times already and they're the same questions. But I'll ask Ms Hawkins to provide them again.
Thanks, Mr Mitchell. So with regards to the lots, we are just finalising those so that we can get the titles, and that will then enable us to get them onto the market. But that would be under private treaty, as we've mentioned, in terms of the manner to be sold. So we will use an agent and we will then use that method. We have been approached by a number of people with regards to those sites, and we have that information on record as well.
Thank you, Mr Mitchell. I will now rule to extend public question time for another 15 minutes, and I'll ask Mike Masiello if you'd like to come forward, please. Thank you. And your name and suburb?
Good evening, Mr Mayor, councillors, executive team and the public gallery. My name is Mike Masiello from Trigg. Did you miss me?
Did you miss us?
Of course, that's why I'm here. It's been stated on numerous occasions in reports such as the Coterra report and the Urbis Environmental Impact Assessment in responses to public question time in the minutes and by yourself that a proposed boardwalk through the dunes between Trigg and Scarborough would disperse the traffic from Scarborough and alleviate the parking congestion at Scarborough. Please explain how the boardwalk would disperse the traffic or the traffic from Scarborough and alleviate parking congestion. I just want an explanation as to this process.
Thanks for that question. The comments there relate to the parking supply at Trigg through the southern and northern Trigg car parks and the Trigg Surf Club car parking and the road embayments that are up there. And I'm guessing those comments relate to the fact that it would be a pleasant walk for people to park there and then use a boardwalk to traverse to Scarborough.
Yeah. So is it an assumption or is it based on an assessment that's been completed?
Do you want that to be your second question?
Uh,
So let's move on to your second one. Thanks.
Sure. The report to council regarding the proposed boardwalk estimates a further $200,000 to $300,000 worth of assessments are required to obtain necessary approvals to build the boardwalk through the dunes. Can the Mayor please provide an itemised list of the assessments that the City anticipates is required to obtain the necessary approvals, including but not limited to environmental, planning and other, and the estimated itemised costing of these assessments?
Thank you. We'll respond to you in writing with that one.
The CEO has stated on the 25th of November 2025 in the annual that the annual cost of maintaining the boardwalk was estimated to be $100,000. I'm wanting more detail on this. This seems very light for an 850 metre long structure located 50 metres from saltwater when you consider the practicalities of such a structure. Does this $100,000 estimate provided by the CEO include the cost of, and this is sort of things that have come up through the reports, corrosion management for the galvanised frame, such as regular pressure washing for corrosion management, ongoing revegetation, planting and watering of vegetation, ongoing weeding from the 2 edge effects created by the boardwalk, that's 25,000 square metres of weeding, structural inspections, rubbish collection from bins on the boardwalk and from the dunes, CCTV monitoring and security to deal with the expected antisocial behaviour, lighting, power, cleaning, replacing stolen taps and grey water management for the showers, graffiti management and vandalism, and security to keep scooters and bikes off the structure.
Thank you for that extensive list, and we will certainly respond to you in writing with that one.
Okay, so you provide the cost of those things.
I don't know why you have to echo every time I answer your question, Mr. Mayor.
Just a clarification.
You asked,
that's
and
all.
I said we'll respond to you in writing. It is there on public record.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Roland Hadley. Thank you, Mr. Hadley. Your name and suburb to start.
Mr. Hadley, Woodlands. We note in the minutes of the council meeting of the 25th of November 25 that Mayor Irwin wanted to return to the USA to learn leadership skills at a cost of ratepayers of approximately $14,000. Mayor Irwin attended a similar course in 2024, also at a cost of several $1,000s. As Mayor Irwin has held this position for 7 long years, many community members state that there is absolutely no benefit for ratepayers, unless, after a 4-day course in America, Mayor Irwin is awarded with a certificate which may assist his application for President of the WA Local Government Association. Is this your intent, Mayor Irwin?
No, it is not, Mr. Hadley. The course is after the elections for that. Thank you for asking. Your second question.
When will ratepayers see the return of the $10,000 which was granted to Mayor Irwin in order that he could appeal the SAT decision? As we know, Mayor Irwin withdrew the appeal in late January.
Thank you for that question. I will rule it out of order as it is a confidential item and I'm not aware of it. Your third question, Mr Hadley.
I wouldn't say it's confidential. If you're borrowing $10,000
Mr Hadley, it is a confidential item that I know nothing about.
Really?
It is. I don't know how you know about it, Mr Hadley. Your third question, please.
Well, it's in the minutes. You borrowed $10,000 to...
It is not in the minutes, Mr Hadley.
Are you sure?
Mr Hadley, if you'd like that to be your third question, or have you got a third question?
It's in a good mood today. I was going to ask questions at the last council meeting, but Mayor Irwin cancelled public question time on the pretext that there was a busy agenda. So I and 4 other ratepayers who regularly attend council meetings were not permitted to ask questions. It so happens that these same 5 ratepayers were all against his boardwalk. A coincidence? We think not. Situations have occurred in the past where public question time suddenly ceased by Mayor Irwin, and Ewan Street members want to know if this is also a coincidence. Was it deliberate or just happens to be coincident?
The ending of public question time was certainly deliberate. As presiding member, public question time under the Act goes for 15 minutes. What I do after 15 minutes is rule to extend public question time to give everyone the opportunity to ask questions.
I think
Mr Hadley, Mr Hadley, please, Mr Hadley, I'm answering, thank you. You are welcome to come and ask questions as you do most weeks. The people who missed out last time because we exceeded 1 hour had not provided any information about their questions, what the questions were, or whether it was related to an item on the agenda. So I was hardly to know that they were related to that. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Lloyd Coles, would you like to come forward? Is there Lloyd Coles here? Thank you. Your name and suburb?
Excuse me. Lloyd Coles, Kingsley. My question relates to Jackadder Lake and the algal bloom that we're dealing with at the moment. I'm in the Perth Radio Sailing Club and we're not allowed to use the lake at the moment because of the bloom and the health issues. That is our main concern. Also the wildlife, because we do get surprisingly close to the wildlife down there. My question is, what sort of a time frame are we looking at for something to be done to, one, allow us back into the lake, and two, to deal with the wildlife issues?
Yeah, thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Mr Johnson?
Through you, Mr Mayor. Good evening, Mr Cole. Currently we have some water sampling testing underway. We're hopeful for some results shortly. Today I received from the Commodore an operating procedure, so we're hoping to marry up good results with the water quality testing and the operating procedures to allow you back to operate your boats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for your question. And Robin Murphy? Oh, she's left. Is she coming back? No. So I don't have anyone else. Is that correct? Sorry, would you like to come? Would you like to come forward? Sorry, I don't have your name in front. And just your name and suburb?
Christine Stanton, Woodlands. I'm here to present to Councillor Ray a request to review and enhance the gym facilities of the Scarborough Leisure Centre. A petition has been collected with some names on it to review the safety, the amenity and the accessibility of the venue.
Thank you. So have you got a question related to that, or you just like us to review it?
Could you review it, please?
Yeah, certainly. And what we'll do is, it's not the right time to submit a petition. We'll obviously accept that and then we can read it out so it's on public record at the next meeting. But we'll certainly take on board your question. I know you sent through an email and councillors have forwarded it on, and I can inform you that the officers have been presented with that and are looking at it, and will provide you a response on what that future looks like for those leisure facilities.
Would you like me to have this table?
Yeah, well, we can't table it, but a member of the governance team will collect it off you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of public question time. We'll move on to item 8, which is application for leave of absence. Councillors, are there any requests for leave of absence? No indication. I'll go to item 9, confirmation of minutes. If anyone can remember all that time ago, can I have a mover and a seconder to accept the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the council held on the 25th of November? Move Councillor Olo, seconded Councillor Papard, and show of hands to accept those minutes. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Announcements by the presiding member. I do quickly have a couple. The first one is I would just like to say that I was pleased last week to be invited to go to the City of Nedlands. They are going through an extraordinary election following the commissioners, and I was invited to go and speak to the potential candidates about the role of a mayor and elected members, and it was acknowledged by the commissioners of the working relationship that the elected members have with the staff and the productiveness of that, and so that formed a lot of the meeting and the discussions we had. And I wish the City of Nedlands all the best in their future. There's certainly some outstanding candidates in the room, and I do wish them all the best in the future. And secondly, I think it's important, whilst there will be plenty of time to do this more formally and more properly, to acknowledge Ms Hawkins, who has tendered her resignation at the City of Stirling after an incredible amount of time with the City, well over 12 years, almost 13 years, I believe, at the City, and around 8 years or so as Director, as our amazing Director of Corporate Finances. The reason I want to make that public is that shortly we'll be going out to market for a new one, and I don't want it to be a surprise for anyone. I do want to acknowledge you. As I said, we'll do this more formally and more properly later, Ms Hawkins, but I pity the person who tries to follow in your footsteps. You are the epitome of what a director should be. You are just an incredible font of knowledge. I often say it, you are the smartest person in the room when we ask questions. You know the answer to everything finances, and I know that it is so highly valued by our elected members, the amount of information you have and your support you provide them, and the way you're able to turn what can often be complex financial in a local government setting into manageable items that we understand. And I just want to also acknowledge you as a friend to council. You know, you're obviously part of our A team under our CEO, but the way you're able to still be professional but have that empathy to councillors and what they deal with, and the way you work with us, we are certainly going to miss you. We look forward to spending the next 3 or 4 months with you on that journey, and hopefully there'll be a few farewells and we get to celebrate your time here. But we wish you all the best with Gavin in your future, and I just want to on public record that, you know, we will certainly miss you as a councillor. You are outstanding. Thank you. We'll jump on to item 11, unresolved business. I have nil. And item 12, reports and recommendations from committees. Councillors, will start with the Planning and Development Committee agenda items and ask if there is anything that you wish to be pulled out from the Planning and Development Committee. Councillor Ree.
Yes, please. May I please have 12.1 CF1, please?
Sure can. Is there any others? If not, I will go to that one and I will ask Councillor Proud if you'd like to move item 12.1 CF1.
Thank you, Mayor. I will move the committee recommendation on page 14.
Thank you. And is there a seconder for that motion? Councillor Ferrante. Thank you. I will just before we open that item or ask for any comments, I will just note that I've received some disclosures of interest from Councillor Ree, and one of them relates to that one. So 12.1 CF1, and impartial, as she's a member of the Mount Lawley Society. 14.1 footpaths, and as she's met with residents, and 14.4 algae at Jackadder Lake, because she's met with the residents as well. So I've just got that on record. Sorry, is there anyone opposed to 12.1 CF1, or Councillor Ree, are you opposed, or would you like a question?
I'd like an answer why this, with regard to the steel in the windows, they don't seem to be heritage. So depending on the answer, whether that could be admitted.
Thank you. That's with the PVC. Yeah, so that was discussed at the Planning and Development meeting. I'll get Ms Shears to provide some comment, but it is going out for comment advertising. So it's an appropriate time that will come up. But I'll get Ms Shears to provide some comments.
Through you, Mr Mayor, Councillor Ree, that was an item that I guess was tabled and discussed internally and felt that it could be incorporated due to the materials that are available. We also have discussed that since the committee meeting with the Mount Lawley Society representatives. Actually, believe they were asked at committee whether they had a view on it and were satisfied with that. Certainly we'll take feedback during public consultation, and if there is a strong desire for that to not remain, and then officers will consider that going forward.
To answer your question, Councillor Ree?
I'd just like to say, because it goes, 43, 47, 74, it's right through the document anyway about the steel. I'm just wondering that if it stays in, who will make sure that it combines to streetscape? And I know with some of the buildings that have been approved, and definitely it's out of the city control, at state government, but people, when they look at streetscape these days, they've got things that don't blend in with the neighbourhood at all. Not our fault, but that. So I'm just wondering whether these policies of ours should be a lot tighter so that the DAPs can't change them. And that's my concern when you turn around and using steel. And yes, it might come up in the public consultation, but I just wondered whether or not when we actually write it up, that we do actually pinpoint that and actually say, we'll ensure that the facade or whatever it looks like it matches the streetscape or heritage, something, a preamble.
Yeah, and I think everyone's comfortable that there was discussed slightly around those areas, but it was acknowledged that the PVC can give exactly the same appearance as the steel. But if it comes up, then it can be altered when it comes back from advertising.
I just continue. Who decides? Like if you look at the definition on page 23, I'll just get page 23, where it says generally intact. There's no definition I could find of generally intact, and even under the planning policy, it doesn't say generally intact. So who decides what's generally intact? And having said that, looking at what happened at the City of Perth, where the facade was there, and then when they started to build, the facade fell down. So are we going to put in a definition of generally intact?
Yeah. Mr. Van Heineken.
Through you, Mayor. So generally intact, that would be assessed by our officers that are trained in the heritage field. So that assessment is essentially if it's close to the original form of those buildings, then that's considered to be generally intact.
Thanks.
We could, because generally intact would mean that it's actually sustainable to hold.
Councillor,
Anyway, it can be done later.
I understand your comments, but it is
That's
going out for advertising. So any of this can form part of the responses. If there's no one opposed, I will go to the mover and seconder, Councillor Proud and Councillor Ferranti, and put that item for council. Thanks, Councillor Perkoff. That is unanimous, thank you. And now I'll go to Councillor Proud for the balance of reports, please.
Happy to move the balance of the Planning and Development Committee reports.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Hatton has seconded. I'll put the balance of reports to the vote. Just hold a sec. Just a show of hands, councillors. Thank you, and that is unanimous. Thank you. Members of the gallery and those viewers at home, the remainder of the Planning and Development Committee recommendations have been adopted by exception resolution. I'll go to item 13, reports for consideration in accordance with clause 4.24 of the Meeting Procedures Local Law. And I'll go to 13.1, the revision of member appointments and payments to Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. Is there any discussion on this one? If there's no discussion, I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. Move Councillor Kristovich, seconder Councillor Ferranti. There's no one opposed, so I will put that item, noting that an absolute majority of votes required. I think we just got one to go. If we, Councillor Ferranti, just your vote. Thank you. That is unanimous. And I'll go to item 14, notice of motions for consideration. We'll start with 14.1. Proposed notice of motion, Councillor Ree.
Please. Page 139. My motion is the footpaths are not to be installed in the cul-de-sacs outside of Dunrussell Place, Wembley Downs and Godden Court Church Lanes, and that the football paths be reviewed. and a community resource meeting to be held in March 2026. Now, I don't agree with the alternative recommendation. So the problem is that although the city, in November, 7th of November, the city sent out a letter to the people around there, of which that letter did not mention Godden Court whatsoever.
Okay.
So
Sure,
that
okay.
makes it difficult. And
Let-
the fact that,
Let me just check for you and help you out.
and then it was installed.
Sure, let me just check you. So Godden Court has been installed, is that correct?
Yeah.
So councillor, what about a hybrid motion? Because I see what the officers were trying to do. I'll try to help you because I know what you're trying to do. That the footpath policy be reviewed at the community, at a workshop so that council can discuss it rather than a committee. And you can put a date on it in March, for example, and that footpath installation be on hold until the workshop.
For the one for
It's only you're asking for a workshop or a policy to be reviewed, but then you're trying to say what the decision of that review would be by saying that it won't be done.
No,
So they could say that it'll be held, so the footpath at Dun Russell Street be on hold until, that way you can have the review and the workshop.
we still don't want the footpath in Dun Russell to go ahead. So that's the whole
No,
point
no,
of it.
no, that's what it's saying though, but it won't. But I just don't think
You're
you can,
saying
I don't
for
think you
your
can have
help.
it both ways. I don't think you can say that it's not going to go ahead, plus we'll sort of do a token review of the footpath.
Point of
policy.
clarification.
Well, the difference is looking at the review, when we discussed it before, that the footpath policy and the crossover policy are parallel, and to actually review both those policies. Now, I've suggested that we review the policy. The staff have suggested to go to a workshop first.
Yes.
I still think it needs to be a policy. But
It-
the
that's-
issue with
that-
regard to
Sorry,
Dun
councillor, I
Russell
think
is
we're talking
separate.
about the same thing though.
No, but the issue with Dun Russell is different. The thing was to not install it at Dun Russell, full stop, for all those reasons.
But-
Now, the reason that there's
So,
no,
councillor, the reason, I'm trying to help you. We're saying the same thing, but I don't think you can say, let's review the policy, but in the meantime, let's stop Dun Russell Street against the policy. The policy right now says do Dun Russell. So what I'm suggesting to
the policy
you,
doesn't say Dun Russell. The policy says
councillor,
don't
I'm not
do
going to argue.
cul-de-sacs.
Put whatever motion you'd like up. I'm just trying to help
That's
you.
what the policy says. Don't do cul-de-sacs.
Point of
And I'm
clarification.
just trying to support
What is your
that
point of
policy.
clarification, councillor?
Dun Russell isn't on the budget at this point. So
That's-
I'll foreshadow the officer's alternative.
Thank you.
That's not relevant whether it's on the budget or not, because sometimes these things come out. So what
So,
we're saying,
tell me what your motion is, but it doesn't matter. Dun Russell's not getting done until after the review, but either way, so if you want to put
they're
that up.
two separate things.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
They're
so,
still-
so you're putting this one up, that footpath not be installed and that the footpath policy be reviewed.
Yeah, no, look, I don't mind it being the footpath policy be reviewed at a workshop and then to a council meeting, so
Yeah.
it doesn't just lie. So
Yeah.
then to a council meeting, in conjunction with the crossover policy, because I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And as discussed with Councillor Judici, we're quite happy with that amalgamation.
Yep.
But the actual one regarding Dun Russell, that not be installed, a cul-de-sac outside.
Sure, so you want to leave that one as it is?
Yeah, and then, but we have to take off Godden Court, although I do believe that Godden Court still needs to be
Just give me the
reviewed,
motion, councillor.
but it's done.
Yep.
For-
No, we'll just leave it like that. It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. If that's what you want. So is there a seconder for this motion?
Well, then we have to change Godden Court, because you already put it there.
I've been trying to help you, councillor, but okay, take Godden Court out now.
Well, you have to take Godden Court out, because you already put it there, but I could put a motion up to take it away, like we've done
Thank
with
you.
various other things.
Okay, councillor, take a seat. You've got your motion up. Is there a seconder for this motion? Thank you. Councillor Judici. Is there anyone opposed? I will just note, so just through the right channels, that Councillor Proud is opposed just to foreshadow the officer's recommendation.
Just a point of clarification very quickly. I'm probably nitpicking, but can a motion be foreshadowed with the point of clarification?
No, that's why I just said, so I've just redone it. So it can't, that's why I just said. So,
Sorry, just Councillor Proud raised a point of clarification and to then raise a
No,
foreshadowed motion.
so-
I'm probably nitpicking, it's fine, but
no, but I've already clarified that. So Councillor Proud did that earlier. I said noted, and what I've just said is there a mover and a seconder, And then I said, Councillor Proud is now opposed so that she can foreshadow, so that through the proper process, because it can't be done through a clarification. So it's been done. So we're happy with that. Thanks for having my back though, Councillor Dudek. Now, is there anyone who wants to debate this, or are you happy to put it? Okay. So the recommendation for Councillor Ree is that the footpath not be installed in Dun Russell Place, and that the footpath policy be reviewed at a workshop. And the officer's foreshadowed recommendation from Councillor Proud is that the footpath policy be reviewed at a workshop. Thank you. So I'll put the first motion. If you go to the vote, please. Thank you. That motion is tied. I will use my casting vote to vote against that. And I'll ask Councillor Ree if you'd like to put the officer's foreshadowed motion up. Oh, sorry, Councillor Proud has already put the foreshadowed. So Councillor Ree would like to second that one. Thank you. So we've got mover, Councillor Proud, seconder, Councillor Ree. And I'll now put that motion. Thank you, and that is unanimous. Just for complete clarity, Councillor Ree, they are exactly the same motion. Dun Russell Street, the footpath there is not going ahead. Just if anyone is watching via the live stream or anyone in the gallery, it is not on this year's budget. It will not be happening for a year, no matter what. So it's important that if there is a policy review, that can be looked at as part of that. So Council will have that workshop.
Mr Mayor, we don't actually know that because it's not definitive to say it won't go ahead, and depending on who's round the table, it could go ahead.
Thanks, Councillor.
So you can't say it won't ever happen. That's what
policy-
I was trying to do,
I
support
understand.
the
I understand.
ratepayers.
Council will have a workshop on it.
Let's hope ratepayers can come.
Item 14.2, proposed notice of motion from Councillor Giudice.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, somewhat similar to, somewhat related, I should say, to Councillor Ree's motion. I'm looking for the review of the crossover policy and for those outcomes to be presented at a future P&D committee meeting within the next 6 months. I do acknowledge the alternative recommendation, and I don't have a. I'm kind of comfortable with the alternative, to be honest.
So let's have a look at the alternative.
But
yeah.
I would like to just ask a question, if I could.
Sure, let's just get your question out of the way. Is it just regarding the process?
Yeah, correct, it is. I suppose it's just additional information I wasn't aware of that's been provided in the report, and it relates to the Thoroughfares and Public Places Local Law of 2009, which has, and I'm not familiar with that local law too much, but apparently it has a relationship with the crossover policy. It would appear that from the report it's stating that policy perhaps should have been reviewed maybe in the 2020s, 2021 or thereabouts, and has not been. I suppose I'm just trying to understand why it's perhaps going to be done later this year, and whether it could be brought forward to assist us in, I suppose, looking at this crossover policy in a holistic
And
manner.
given, and I can easily answer that. Given that you're using the officer's recommendation that it come to a workshop, I'm guessing both of these will come to the same workshop, and any of those related policies that may be more than two, because they often do
Yeah,
cross
well,
over.
I think that's what I'm probably suggesting.
Yeah,
is
will be
let's bring
discussed at
in
that
as
workshop,
well.
and then from that workshop it can be determined which policies come back to council.
Yep.
And
Yep. All right.
Council, you're happy to second this one? I think the inference is these will both happen in the next month or so. I think. Yeah.
My expectation.
Let's get officers to get back to us, but the intent was that it come back to us. So we've got a mover and a seconder for that. I'll put that one to the vote. Councillor Ree seconded that. That's unanimous. 14.3, proposed notice of motion, Councillor Olo.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. that a report be presented to council on the 24th of February 2026.
Before you read all that one, have you seen the alternative recommendation?
That the president following return service.
So the officer's report and the recommendation?
Yep, that a report in a minute. Oh, that's quite good, yep.
You happy with that?
Yep.
Alternative rec?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Is there a seconder? Councillor Proud. Is there anyone opposed to that one? Councillor Dudek, you got a question?
Just a question, and I guess I'll ask the officers first, and depending on the answer, decide whether or not I might ask for an amendment. Just wondering, in Nollamara, obviously, as it states in the report, there's no RSL branch currently active, but the Anzac ceremonies, Remembrance Day, have been held at the Nollamara Bowling Club last couple of years, and I'm just wondering if there's scope to include them in this consultation.
They are. So the intent is to do that.
The intent is to do that, because I mean, I read
If
through
there is
before, I might
if
have
there
missed
is a service. So this is a bit, there's no limit to this review. The intent of this was the fact that some RSLs maybe have a sausage sizzle and pretty well 5 people, and are probably already getting plenty of funding. But there's others that have grown to the stage that they have to close 10 roads and $2,000 doesn't cover. So all that will come back to, and if it's in your ward, you'll be let know about it.
So they would be covered in service organisations, I'm guessing then.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
motion.
for the intent of this is to talk to anyone who's running those services. So it's acknowledged that Nollamara do it, and it's acknowledged there's a
Awesome.
Sanitari at Doubleview. There's no, don't know if there is a Scarborough sub-branch at the moment. Thank you. I think we've got a mover and a seconder. I'll put that to the vote if there's no one opposed. It's unanimous. 14.4 proposed notice of motion, Councillor Ree. Jack Lake.
Thank you. Whilst, and I'd like to just thank Mr Johnson for taking 2 hours out of his busy day to walk the streets and the lakes with me and drains, which I didn't frighten him off too much, but I did open up his eyes. The issue, my point is, this is a management issue, that it does happen from
I
Perth
need
to
a
Perth.
recommendation, Councillor Ree.
I still want to go to my original motion, because I can't, on this report, well, it doesn't say when this will be done, and the answer Mr Johnson gave to the gentleman tonight still didn't give a definitive date.
Yep. Okay.
So I think we need it
and again, I'm not-
urgently.
again, I-
Urgently install could mean in a month, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I understand your motion. That's your motion. I will just give you an option here, and I'll tell you why, because it's the same as the one before. The city has said that our role as elected members is to govern the city and to advocate for the community. But by putting a motion to say you already know the solution and there should be a water fountain, the officers have said we need to investigate what's causing that and find the appropriate solution, and that can be in a timely manner. And if it is that, they can do that. But you want to just say, no, we just want a water fountain.
Upon the research
I'm just saying the reason they give you an alternative recommendation is to try to give expertise in this area to offer you, it's the same outcome, but it just provides some robustness to it.
I'll foreshadow the
if-
officer's recommendation.
Councillor Proud, please no. I'm having a discussion with Councillor Reid.
My point is, on the research I did, and this is something we looked at years
So
ago.
let's not
there is
debate
a
it.
report.
I don't
if
want
I
to-
could finish, please.
No, you
That's
can't.
That's why I put
Take a
solar.
seat, please, Councillor
If
Reid.
you change it...
Councillor Reid, take a seat. Councillor Reid, you're out of order. Sit down,
If I
please.
change the solar water
Councillor
fountain...
Reid, sit down, please.
Oh, I could change it to another word, if you listen.
Is there a seconder for Councillor Reid's motion?
Can't I change the word? I'm saying that if we...
Councillor Reid, stop, please. You are out of order. If you'd like to stand and put your motion how you would like it, you may, but you can't do a debate when we haven't got a seconder. What is your motion?
If I change it to, the city urgently provides a remedy to address the detrimental effects of the algae on animals and plants at Jackadder Lake as a matter of urgency.
That's the alternative recommendation.
Oh, the suggested one doesn't say as a matter of urgency. That was my point.
So let's add it in.
I don't
So-
want to wait forever.
That the city investigates options for reducing the detrimental effect of algal growth at Jackadder Lake woodlands and reports the outcome to them as soon as the results of the investigation as available. This is urgent.
But it says here in page 152, a comprehensive report will be provided by the city early 2027. How does early 2020? That's a
no.
year away.
No, that's not the intent at all.
That's what's in the report.
Mr Johnson, can you
That's why I
provide
said
some info?
urgent.
Councillor
My
Reid,
apologies.
please.
I read the report.
Through you, Mr Mayor, the intent of a 12-month water analysis is to provide a long-term solution, but we are looking at alternative solutions as we speak. We actually have a consultant lined up on Thursday to look at an alternative treatment, so we're hopeful of having a pretty quick remedy if we can.
Thank you. I'm happy with that. So which one would you like, 1 or 2?
Why can't we change 2 to as soon as possible then, not a year?
It does. You can. You can put the word, Councillor Reid, you can put the words in you want. I just,
Results of the investigations are available as soon as possible.
as soon as the results.
As soon as practical.
Okay, it says the same thing, but yes, okay. As soon as practical. You can keep.
Definitely not a year.
Thank you. Councillor Thornton's happy to second that. What's your question?
Mr Mayor, we have other lakes too that have this problem with blooms, such as Talia Lake and Gwelup. Is there anything we can do for those lakes?
I would say that can be done offline. Mr Johnson is happy to have discussions with you. I would say they are doing something, if you're happy. But are you happy to second this one? I am. Thank you. All right, so we've got to move in a second. Is there anyone opposed? No. We'll put that to the vote. Thank you. That is unanimous. Whew. Councillors, I can only assure you, if I am offering advice, it is to try to make your motion successful. And we have plenty of experts who can help us do that. I will go to item 15, notice a motion for consideration at the next meeting. Councillors, are there any noms at this stage? None. Item 16, questions by members of which due notice has been given. Item 16.1, there are questions on notice from Councillor Thornton. They are taken as read in the agenda. Item 17, new business of an urgent nature. I have nil. Item 18, matters behind closed doors. The property lease proposal that's been discussed. Councillors, it's that's 12.1, sorry. Ignore what I just said. Item 18, we have... Yeah, so we've done 13. Sorry, it takes me a while to read the notes underneath it all. Ooh, the governance team's been busy. There's some notes in here. That brings us to item 19, which is closure of the meeting. I now declare the meeting closed at 7:31 p.m. Thank you, councillors. Yes.